up in this bitch, a bunch of killers and humble trappers. I can go to Hollywood to core in this jungle acting with niggas that'll smoke you going murder.
Okay, now I'd like to introduce the undefeated WBA welterweight champion of the world from Clearwater, Florida. He's got a record of 28-0, and it's great to have him back, Keith Thurman.
Hi, guys. How you guys doing today?
Keith, do you want to make some opening comments?
It's just great to be back. I'm looking forward to this fight. Back in Brooklyn, 22 months in the making. It's real exciting for me, for my team. I know a lot of fans miss me, and it's going to be a great show. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Keith, and now we'll open up for questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, Keith. Welcome back.
Thanks, Dan. How you doing?
I'm good. Keith, can you just maybe just describe a little bit if there were frustrations or what they were like as far as this long layoff, almost 2 years? I know you had multiple injuries that took you out of the game longer than you had originally anticipated. Could you just sort of explain if there were frustrations and what they were like for you?
Definitely. The elbow surgery, I kept pressing my doctor to give me a turnaround date, how long, doc? How long, doc? And I didn't understand why he kept really beating around the bush. He was very clever with his wording. And he pretty much never answered the question, no matter how many words he used. And I didn't understand until probably about 6 months after the surgery when I realized this is a long recovery because it's not healed yet, and I know I still need more time. So it was more of a 10-month to a full 12-month recovery, which would have been okay. It's not the longest layoff. That was frustrating in itself, but luckily for me, I spent a lot of time with my wife in Kathmandu, Nepal, and I was surrounded by her family and just a lot of new life experiences, and I was able to cope with that. When I was trying to get back in the ring and I had another injury due to my left hand, that's when I just was like, man, this is not fun. I just want to get back into the sport. I wish somebody could tell me what day I'm going to be back in the ring. And it just was...
Hello?
I think we lost Keith.
I think we lost him. Hopefully we can get him back.
Thurman got injured.
Yes, we will. One moment.
Keith got injured, y'all.
Yes, she got disconnected. If you give me one moment, I can get her back.
The foam was too heavy for his hand, so he injured his palm. He got a minor neck sprain.
One moment, she'll be back on the line.
Okay.
Okay, we have Lisa on the line. Okay, I'm sorry, one moment.
Katina, it's Lisa, I have Keith.
Okay, she's back on the line.
What? I
Keith,
hopped
are you
the shit
there?
out that gate.
Yep, I'm here.
Sorry, everybody. Nice. Okay, Keith's back now.
Keith, I think you're in the middle of talking about the frustrations after the hand injury that came after the elbow surgery.
Yeah, it just was very frustrating for me. I really just wanted to have a fight date. I wanted to be able to get back into the ring. And, the doctors were telling me, you're not going to be out forever, this and that. And I'm like, it just feels like forever. It just felt like a long time. So I'm just truly happy to be back with this fight date against a truly game fighter. I think this is a great comeback fight for myself. Josesito Lopez has been moving up. He's been catching some momentum. He's got a new trainer, new set of confidence. He wants to showcase his skills and talent. I want to remind the world who Keith Thurman truly is. And, the last two opponents that I fought, Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, one was a counterpuncher, one was a straight-in bull. And I'm expecting a completely different kind of fight. So I'm looking forward to it.
And so, Keith, it was the right elbow in the left hand, correct?
That's right.
Now, how are they now? Are you as healthy as you've been going into a fight coming off this layup, or are you still having any issues with anything?
Well, the hand is actually a little bit of the doctor told me it may need monitoring throughout my whole career, which isn't like we fighters have gone through that many times. Some have to get surgeries and things like that. I'm hoping to avoid such things, but we'll see what happens in the future.
The conference is now being recorded.
Was there ever a moment?
I don't know what the fuck just happened. They shit fucked up, y'all. They shit fucked up. That's not me. Well, I think they fixed it. Is that Pac-Man?
Lisa, you can start talking now. I can?
I'm
sorry about that.
Blame it on Dan.
Okay, maybe we should. Okay, Dan, do you have any more questions?
DJ was going crazy.
Do we still have Dan, or do we lose everybody?
No, can you press star 1 again to get back into line?
Can everyone please press star one? Let's start with a clean slate. It's like brand new year. Okay. Oh, good. If we're getting people into the queue. Dan, do you have any more questions?
I had one more question.
Okay.
All right, we good now? We good? All right, Keith. When you were in the middle of all this layoff thing, you didn't, your elbow is giving you problems, and the hand is now an issue. Was there ever a point where you were so down that you thought, you know what, I might not be able to box again, or did it never get to that point? And if it did, how did you deal with that?
The worst part is, the truth is, I've been out of the ring for 2 years. I was 28 years old the last time I fought. I'm 30 now. just a little disappointing, missing some of those years of my youth. But luckily, I still am in my prime. I have tons to give. And just being in shape now motivates me for my future. Watching Manny Pacquiao win a fight at 40 years old also motivates me. You know, so there were moments where I had some morbid thinking and negative thoughts, but at the end of the day, we're back in action, and we're really excited, and we're looking forward to the future.
All right, very good. Thank you, Keith, and I look forward to Saturday's fight.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Bernard, from Carlos Toro. Please go ahead.
Hi, Keith. First, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. Speaking of Manny Pacquiao, who you just mentioned a second ago, I mean, obviously your focus is on Josesito Lopez this Saturday, but having just seen Manny Pacquiao fight, and both of you are holding the WBA welterweight titles, even though yours is the top, or at least the superior version of that title, is that fight something that kind of interests you for down the road?
I mean, it does interest me. I just know he's interested in fighting Mayweather again. You know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand how much money they're going to generate. Even if they were to generate half the income that they did last time, some people believe that that people don't want to see it. But I tend to find out people watch what's on TV. So it's interesting. I would love an opportunity to fight a legend such as Manny Pacquiao. I never had the opportunity to negotiate any fights against Floyd Mayweather. So if I was ever given such an opportunity, it would be an honor, and I would definitely take it.
You know, it's been 2 years almost 2 years since you last fought, and since that time, we've seen guys like Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter and Errol Spence Jr. become welterweight champions in their own right, and they've kind of made their own case as the best fighter in the division. Are you looking at this fight as not just a simple title defense, but an opportunity to reestablish yourself as the best fighter at 147 pounds and kind of show people why you were the unified champion 2 years ago?
Well, definitely. You know, we're back on the stage, so we're going to perform. We're going to give you guys a great performance. And, you know, I mean, you guys are the critics. You know, you get to say what Keith Thurman looks like and who looks like they're about to be the top guy and X, Y, and Z and all that stuff. But I've always, you know, like I stated when we first were on Fox, I've always been the original problem. I am the truth. I'm swift. You know, we went from Showtime to Fox. I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, I belong here. I belong here. I've been telling people that Keith Thurman was ranked number one. 2 years out, do I hold my position? Some people say yes. Some people say no. Let's say I don't hold my position. Where do you put Keith Thurman? Oh, if he's not number one, maybe he's number two. Oh, wait, but you also have that Crawford guy there. Well, then he's number three. Look, man, I worked my whole life to be at the top of the game. And if you're ranked number 1, 2, or 3, you at the top, you know? So I don't stress that stuff. I don't look at anything negative. I constantly focus on the positive, and I'm stepping back in the ring against Josesito Lopez to remind the world who Keith Thurman is, what it looks like when he's fighting, how entertaining I can be, and that I'm an elite fighter at 147.
All right, Keith, thank you so much. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from George Willis from New York Post. Please go ahead.
Hi, Keith. How you doing?
Good.
Could you sort of put dates or at least time frames to, you know, your first surgery on the elbow, when you thought it was going to be good, and then when you injured your left hand, so, you know, we have a pretty good time reference on that?
Well, the doctor wouldn't give me a turnaround date, which which, frustrated me a little bit. And I just had to go based off of fear. And it really did feel good after a year. We started to get into a camp, and then we re-injured ourselves, and it just prolonged the whole process. So,
when did you start that camp, and then you got re-injured?
It was roughly about, I kind of started that camp about a year ago from now, actually.
Okay, great. And now you're coming back when the welterweight landscape has got a few more players in it than, I guess, before, when it was just maybe you and Sean and Danny. And now you've got some other names in there. Do you feel like this is the right time? I mean, you got all this live streaming services and the Fox deal, and people are looking at boxing a little more, and you've got a lot of welterweights out there. Is this the perfect time for you to reestablish yourself?
It's a beautiful moment in the sport of boxing, and I'm truly blessed to be at the top. That's how I feel. I've always known that we were going to be here one day, but luckily for me, the day is today. This is going to be my first appearance on Fox. Fox is highly dedicated to what they're doing in the sport. You have the streaming services. You got ESPN dishing out more money than HBO was before HBO got out of the game. I mean, I just believe that for the sport of boxing and for a lot of the top fighters and top contenders, this is just a great moment to be a part of a beautiful sport, which is boxing. I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to my return, this performance Saturday night, and I'm going to give you guys a good show.
Great. I appreciate it, Keith. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Keith Thurman from the boxing scene. Please go ahead.
Hey, Keith. I know you can't get inside Floyd Mayweather's head, but it obviously pertains to you moving forward as to whether you might be able to fight Manny Pacquiao. So do you think that Floyd is going to come back and fight Manny, or what is your gut feeling on that?
90%. 90%.
That he'll come back?
It has nothing to do with, like, Floyd said everything when he said absolutely nothing. A lot of people don't know how to read body language the way I do. When the question was asked and Floyd said absolutely nothing, he actually almost looked in the other direction. He actually started to look away from the camera instead of towards the camera. And really, it was a simple, it's not like he flinched. He didn't do a lot of movement. It was very subtle. But by sometimes not saying something does mean that you're saying a lot. And pretty much what he said is, why are you asking me a question? I don't answer questions. Show me a you need to give me a statement. You need to tell me that you're going to give me $150 million up front, and then you're going to give me my kickback on the pay-per-view, and then we can start to actually negotiate, and you'll get some answers, but not from asking questions. You see what I'm saying? That's the way Floyd Mayweather thinks. He's a very smart and brilliant businessman, tremendous fighter. They're both past their prime. Floyd beat him once.
Keith, are you still there?
Keith's got injured again.
Hello?
His line is active, but he's not saying anything.
He sprained his voice box. Damn, he was getting some good information, too. Damn, they did us dirty.
Well, I'm going to go on to the next person. Our next question is going to come from Bernard Fernandez from the Sweet Science. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Keith, my question is about the left hand injury, because obviously a boxer's hands are his tools, and there have been more than a few fighters who have developed chronic hand injuries, and it's impacted their careers, in some instances even ended it. And you said that, this could possibly be something that is a lingering concern. When you first injured that hand, how painful was it? And is there any concern that this could be something that could be a lingering issue, because obviously, hand injuries are going to impact all boxers, but particularly punchers, and you're a good puncher.
He aggravated it.
Is Keith, hold on 1 second, Bernard. Is Keith on?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay. Can we just jump quickly back to Keith Idec and finish it up, because we dropped for a second, but we're back. This is one for the books, people. Katina, can you open Keith Idec's line back up really quickly?
Steve Idec, he's the main guy from boxing scene. He's the where all the big news comes from. If you guys know.
Sorry, Bernard. Hang on 1 second. Okay, Keith, go ahead, and then Keith Idec asked Keith Thurman, and then
So
we'll
that's
go
why
back
they're
to
going
Bernard.
back to
I'm sorry,
him.
Bernard.
Okay, so you can hear me, Lisa?
Loud and clear.
Hello? Okay, thank you. One for the books is an understatement, but Keith, can you just elaborate a little bit more on what you were saying before we got cut off there? You were saying that Floyd said, give me $150 million and then upside, but can you just continue on that thought you were
He
telling
want
us
that
there?
story.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Floyd's silent talk is really him saying, give me a statement, not a question, of $150 million up front, whatever the numbers may be. It just needs to be pleasing to the ears before Floyd will consider it. But it's really hard for any human being to not take $100 million or greater for a 36-minute performance. I believe if Floyd was to make half of what he did against Pacquiao the first time, it's still worth it. It's still worth it, man. They're both past their prime. Floyd is just a very slick boxer. Even though he does throw one punch at a time, similar to what Adrian Broner did, he just does it way more effectively. He has better defense, better movement throughout the ring with a ring awareness. And he beat him once. I think he would beat him twice. And I think Manny Pacquiao would be able to retire happily after such a paycheck. So that's why I say the likelihood, in my opinion, is 90%. Of course, I would love to be wrong. Because that would open up doors for me. Hopefully it would open up doors for me to negotiate against the legend Manny Pacquiao. But we'll see. There's tons of opportunities at 147. So regardless, I still have a beautiful job.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but Keith, do you think he would beat Pacquiao in similar fashion to last time, or worse?
I think probably similar. It could end up being worse, I mean, all it takes is the right connection at the right time. But it should be similar, Floyd is just very cautious. He pot shots, and he's just very accurate when he does so. He snaps throughout his whole career. He was snapping heads back, hitting them with that jab to the body, doing, little curveball change-ups, slow, fast, doing his best to be very unpredictable. And, I think he would just craftily coast his way to victory once again.
I have one last question for you, Keith. What has it been like for you? I know it's been frustrating, obviously, for you to deal with these injuries, but you've gotten some backlash from fans and media, whether it's fair or not, that's who's to say. But how has it been for you? Because obviously it's been most frustrating to you to not be able to fight. So what has it been like to deal with that backlash for you?
Yeah, man, I can care less what people say and what they think about Keith Thurman and, he's ducking guys, he's getting injured to avoid people. I'm a 7-figure fighter, man. I mean, there's a lot of money out there to be made, and I've worked really hard my whole life since the age of 7. I'm 30 in the game. There's just a lot of people that really don't understand what it means to be a world-class fighter. And so a lot of opinions just really don't get to me. If anything, some of them were humorous. And my favorite, I'm Keith one-time Thurman, I'm Keith one-time Thurman, Keith sometime Thurman, but Keith once upon a time Thurman, that was pretty amusing.
Thanks for your time, Keith. I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Our next question is going to come from Bernard Fernandez from the Sweet Science. Please go ahead.
Okay, Keith, a question I asked before, and I don't remember if you still remember it, but
no, I didn't hear it at all.
Yeah, I mean, the fighter's hands are his tools, and if your tools are damaged, it can impact and even end careers. With the left hand injury, and you kind of alluded that this possibly could be a continuing concern. You're a puncher, that probably impacts it even more. How painful was it when you incurred this? And how much concern do you have that this could be a
over the keys to victory for Keith Thurman using the Fox Sports
over and over again?
Well, when it occurred, it was painful enough to where it hurt to land a jab on my sparring partner with 16-ounce gloves. So that's when I knew if I can't punch my sparring partner with a jab, I'm not going to have a fight date. So, and in the back of my head, yeah, we're a little worried about things going into the future, but we're also doing our best to stay positive because we feel great. We're ready for this fight. And I just want my health to hold up because I just want to be an active fighter at the top of the welterweight division once again. And no matter what happens, I believe that I will be able to do that, even if I do have to monitor things. Maybe I do have to make adjustments in my fight style or things of that nature. I'll do whatever it takes to continuously showcase the skills and talent that I have. I've always been versatile, and there's many ways to get to the finish line when it comes to a 12-round championship bout. So, I didn't knock out Sean. I didn't knock out Danny. I'm hard to beat, even if I'm not trying to knock you out. So, at the end of the day, I have confidence.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is going to come from Cameron Buford from the LA News Observer. Please go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Thurman, thank you for your time answering our questions, sir. My first question for you is, what did you learn about yourself in this 22-month layoff? What did you learn about yourself, sir?
Well, I've had the longest layoff prior to this was a 14-month layoff. So I've had layoffs in my career. I didn't learn anything new from that aspect, but what I did learn is a little bit about, getting back in shape. Because some people would think, well, was he still training? Was he doing this and that? And, not being able to punch first my elbow was hurt. I couldn't punch with my right hand. So I don't want to be hitting the bag with only my left. And then I hurt my left, and now my right's good. And I don't want to just really hit the bag with just my right. So, and it was a little depressing. So I ended up not doing a lot. And when I felt good and I knew we were going to create a fight date, I had to tell myself, hey, man, you got to wake up, you got to get moving, and you got to be a champion again. And, I knew I could do it, but I learned a lot in the process of doing it. And I also believe that I learned that even though I can do it, I should not. There's many things in life that you could do, that's things that you should not do, So, yes, I can get back in shape in 10 weeks' time, and I can be ready to perform a 12-round fight. I did start moving around a little bit before prior just 10 weeks, but real camp was about a 10-week camp. So, at the end of the day, I would love to stay healthy and stay active. And even if I'm not healthy, I think I'm ready to stay active, you know. Take a Tom Brady approach to the sport of boxing. Take a Bernard Hopkins approach to the sport of boxing. You know, I kind of what I've learned is actually I'm still learning it, and I want to carry this into the coming years, especially this year and the further years down the line. So that's pretty much what I've gotten from this experience.
Okay, thank you, man. That was a pretty good answer. Now, you mentioned a couple of times Pacquiao fighting at 40. You mentioned B-Hop. B-Hop, we know he fought over 40. You mentioned Tom Brady. He's playing over 40. Are you saying that you want to fight over 40 years old?
Yes, motherfucker. That's what he said.
No. It's always been my lifelong dream to retire young and successful. I just keep debating what young age that is, you know, especially with some career setbacks. And also, I would like to have an option to retire, but maybe not necessarily need to retire. And really, in reference to Manny Pacquiao, Bernard Hopkins, and Tom Brady, even Floyd Mayweather, really, when I look at these individuals, it's really just inspiring for a man in my situation. It's very inspiring. It really keeps me in a positive light. Even witnessing Pacquiao win the other weekend, it just, matter of fact, after he won, I pulled a Floyd Mayweather, and I ended up running 3 miles in the rain at 2:30 in the morning.
What the fuck is he talking about?
It just something about seeing a 40-year-old man being victorious just said, you know, you got this. You know, it doesn't matter what God throws at you, what obstacles. You're here for a reason, and you got this. Not every individual is an individual. Some people have greater success than others. I'm not here to go tit for tat with any champion of the world. I'm here for my own story. I'm here for my own legacy.
Got it. I love that answer, Chief. Last question for you is, what concerns you most about Lopez this weekend, going into the fight this weekend? What concerns you most about him?
His confidence. He shouldn't have any. What's up with that?
Appreciate your time, Chief.
But in all seriousness, you know, I'm interested in seeing where this confidence comes from. You know, there's got to be a logical reason. You know, where's it coming from? You know, I know he knows he's a little smarter. Maybe he's a little stronger. Maybe he just feels faster. I don't know. He's going to have to show me where this confidence comes from. He's fully aware of my boxing style and that I do bring a lot into the ring. Speed, power, movement. So, you know, yet he's still confident. So I want to see what's that all about Saturday night. And he's had tough fights. He's a real dog. He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind mixing it up, and I'm prepared for that. But I just feel like, you know, maybe he is a new Josesito Lopez. But what is new? I'll find out in a few days.
We all will. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our last question is going to come from John Cudney from Reddit Boxing. Please go ahead.
Thanks for your time, Keith. I know this call has gone on long. So this is a question for the fans. Can you promise an explosive performance on Saturday night, or is this fight more about making sure your body is 100%? What can fans look forward to?
Really, I just want to have fun. I want to have fun. I want to move around the ring. I want to see how much I can mix it up. It's been so long since I've been punched by 8-ounce gloves. So there's just a lot to look forward to for myself, for the fans. You know, I've been very accurate in camp. You know, I do feel sharp. And I just want to know how this sharpness is going to play out against another man that's prepared, that's been preparing for this 12-round performance. You know, am I going to be able to land my counters the moment that I want to land them? Is everything really going to go my way? Is it going to be smooth? Is it going to be rough? Is it going to be tough? But the fans should expect to see a world-class performance from world-class fighters, especially from myself. So, you know, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to be looking to land some big punches, and I'm going to be looking to win the rounds, you know, because if you're not getting the knockout, you still want to win the fight. So we'll see what happens. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's going to be fun. 22 years, Keith one-time Thurman, or 22 months, Keith one-time Thurman is back.
Okay, thanks a lot, Keith. Good luck.
Thank you.
We actually do have one more question from Eddie Goldman from No Holds Barred. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hi, Keith. We hear a lot about ring rust in general with you coming back from this layoff, but for you specifically, what are the toughest aspects of returning after the layoff? Is it physical or mental or timing or stamina or what exactly for you?
Well, for me, probably the biggest one, which I still feel confident about, is the timing. Like I said, my timing was sharp against the sparring partners, but I'm not fighting my sparring partners, and neither is he fighting his sparring partners, you know? So at the end of the day, I just hope that I can do what Ben Getty used to always say: if you do your homework, you pass the test. You know, I just hope that in the gym, when 2 + 2 = 4, Saturday night, 2 + 2 = 4, that really there shouldn't be a new equation. This is boxing. I know how to handle myself in the ring. I know how to scope out my opponent, look for the openings, and piece my punches together at the right moments. And that's what I'm looking forward to Saturday night.
And do you have to try to do anything differently now that you mentioned you turned 30? That do you have to do anything differently than you did earlier in your career, aside from coming back from the layoff?
The only thing differently that I really made sure that I did because of the layoff is I just guaranteed myself 10 weeks of a real training camp over the allotted 8 weeks that I normally do. And I might need to continue that at this stage and at this age, just to guarantee that that I stay sharp, you know, and that I can't say to myself, you didn't give yourself enough time to prepare for the fight.
Okay, perfect. That was our last question. Keith, thank you so much. Media, thanks so much for hanging in there with us. You guys have been on a lot of these. Doesn't usually happen, so, you know. Keith, thank you so much. Welcome back to the fold. Welcome back to the ring. And see you during fight week. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. You now disconnect and have a great day.